Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. I'm Marco D'Angelo. We've got Scott Spreitzer and Bryan Leonard, and this is going to be a best bet from Scott. And we're going to take a look at Texas and TCU. Guys, the question I'm going to throw out to start it is, if you're Texas, how do you get yourself up off the mat after the last 2 weeks the way you lost games?
And I got to also wonder, not only the way they lost games, the missed extra point after coming back from 21 down against Cal, and then last week losing by a field goal, 30-27. It's not only getting off the mats from that, and those are home games. Now they got to venture out on the road. It's also, is this team, are these players going to continue to buy what Charlie Strong is preaching because of the way they've been losing these games? And before the season began, doing other shows, we were talking about how Charlie Strong's second Louisville team kind of dropped off a little bit, and then they came on. And I was wondering if Austin, Texas, if the fan support, the alums, would be willing enough to give Charlie Strong more time if they struggled in this second season, lost a couple of bad games. The thing is, they're 110th in total offense, 106th in passing yards per game. They're just as bad on defense, where they're 107th against the pass, 115th in total defense, triple digits against the run. So here's the thing. If you're going to beat TCU or hang around with them, you better be able to sling the pigskin around the field a little bit. Texas Tech could have beat them last week. TCU finds a way to win that game 55-52. But if you cannot trade points, you're not going to beat TCU. This line, Brian, came down from 17 and a half, down to about 14 and a half, back up to 15 as we talk about it. I disagree with that first money. I like TCU here.
I look at this game, and last week, if you remember, I had TCU in the video, and I also like the over. And it worked out great on the over. Unfortunately, TCU didn't get there they win the game but don't cover. But I'll repeat the same thing is in this game, you've got a Texas team that you talked about how poorly they were early. They made the switch at quarterback. Now they're running more plays, which means more opportunity for that defense to look worse, actually. But they'll be able to put more plays up. And then, TCU still has those problems defensively. So you got two teams here that I think that can move the football. I like the over in this one.
When you got a team that, like you said, now they want to try to speed it up some, get more plays in there, you're going right into the strength of TCU. You don't want, it's like in basketball. If you're a running team and then you play another team that's a running team, but they got better athletes than you're in trouble. You can't play their game when they're the master at it. And you're going to try to go up tempo with TCU. Forget about that. I got tired just watching the TCU Texas Tech game last week, them going up and down the field. Texas is going to be in for a long afternoon.
If you watch, go look at the Rice box score, Texas against Rice. Texas won that game. Look at that box score.
Yeah,
they had 48 offensive plays to 96 for Rice.
Yeah, you texted me, says, look at this. I've never seen anything like it. I'm looking like, is this a mistake? And I had to go. I actually went to a second site
to make sure it was right. I did the same thing before I texted you. I thought I don't want to text him unless I double check this and make sure.
Because it was that bad.
14 of their 27 points scored against Oklahoma State via defense. 14 of their points against Rice came off of defense and special teams. And Texas finished with a +4 turnover margin against Rice. How do you finish with a +4 turnover margin and you still have 48 or whatever it was fewer plays than that team you went up against? Listen, it's not my favorite play on the board this week. It is a play, though. It's not a 5% play like we have it at WagerTalk, like some of us will have this weekend. But I still think it's a situation where Texas just won't be able to hang around. And again, like Marco was saying, I don't know how they get off the mat. And again, they have to keep buying into Charlie Strong. And he is a serious taskmaster. And when you're a taskmaster like he is, and you find ways to lose your team and things aren't quite going right offensively for one unit like that, I think it's a situation where you start doubting what that coach is preaching.
What happens is one bad play, and then you go, oh, here we go again.
Yep.
Kind of like I did in the Tennessee game last week, late in the fourth quarter. Oh, here we go again.
And we'd be remiss without saying that TCU is playing with a whole lot of suspensions and injured defensive players. So I do want to get that out there that we do know that they're playing with a lot of regulars who might be sitting on the sideline for this game. I still think they're too strong offensively.
And I do want to point out, when you do turn the ball over and you get more, you get the ball more often, you're going to have more plays. When you turn the ball over and pick sixes and that, obviously your offense won't be on the field, and that's why you will have less plays in that situation. But, I'm with you on this. It makes a lot of sense. Last week, TCU, a lot of money came against them. And it was right money, so it wouldn't surprise me if this happened again this week.
All right, so this is Scott's video best bet, and he says to go ahead and take TCU. He's going to lay the points on Saturday, and check out Scott on Saturday. He's got a big 5% college main event going. Scott, what's your record on those?
You've been 67% the last 3 weeks, college and pro. 5% plays. But those main events, we've had one this year in college, and it's 1-0. We had it 2 times. I've been doing these for about, 18, 19 years that I brought main events to the handicapping and betting world. We've had a couple of seasons where we've had undefeated seasons, 9-0-1, 10-0-1. And we don't give out a lot, as you can tell. 9 in one season, 10 or 11 in another, and so far just 1. This will be the second in college football this year.
All right, well, check it out Saturday. And, of course, you could also get that. Check Scott out for the $69 all access from Thursday through Monday, and you'll get everything he has this weekend. All right, we'll be back with more, and be sure to check out all our other videos at WagerTalk.com.